Shakespeare's infamous musical, The Phantom of the Opera. The main points of this speech will be understanding the history of the musical, understand why it became so popular for 35 years, and also understand why it is unfortunately closing early next year. A brief history of the musical is that it opened in 1986 in London, and it moved to Broadway shortly thereafter, where it became a huge success for 35 years. Which brings us to the main characters of the show, which are the Phantom, who is a man that was born with a disfigured face, who lives in the Paris Opera House, and he's a composer for the Paris Opera. And then you have Christine Daae, who is his protege, who began her career as the ballet dancer in the Paris Opera House, but she soon becomes the superstar of the Opera Populaire. And I'll show you guys a brief summary of this show. So basically, it's about the protege, the Phantom, a love triangle, and a lot of chaos. So as mentioned before, Phantom opened in London in 1986 with Michael Crawford and Sarah Brightman leading the roles of Phantom and Christine Daae, and they both received really positive reviews for their performances. This show was really revolutionary for its time, because before then, the Broadway shows, you would have stagehands that would move the sets, move the props, but with this show, you had the chandelier rising up on its own, the boat being controlled by a remote control, so everything was basically moved on its own, and people just were in love with this spectacle. It also won a lot of Tonys, including Best Musical, and that says a lot for a show that was open during that time. It also paved the way for musicals nowadays, like Wicked, The Lion King, and any current musicals that you guys may have heard of nowadays. So why is it closing after 35 years? Well, unfortunately, one, due to the COVID pandemic with the years closing down, and also inflation, with prices increasing with trips and the Broadway tickets and everything necessary for New York, like hotels, travel. It's costing a lot nowadays. So unfortunately, people are not able to make their way to New York to go see these shows. Even if they live around like New Jersey, they can't make the cost to go to New York City to go see these shows anymore. With that, even though it's closing for 35 years, you do have resources to watch the show, such as the 25th anniversary concert version, which is pictured here. You can either rent it from Amazon or get the DVD, or you can also listen to the original cast recording, which does feature Michael Crawford and Sarah Brightman, and there's several other cast recordings. I could go on, but I'm not going to. And there's also many productions of it still being produced around the world, such as Greece and Japan, China, Mexico, and I hate to mention this, but also the 2004 film, which are Butler and Emmy Rossum. You can also check that out to get a gist of the show. And with that, that is the history of Phantom of the Opera.